folks, you're going to see deputy sheriffs in places you normally don't see them, but they're doing the Lord's work. They're going to be doing outreach with the homeless community. We're going to work with the LA Homeless Service Authority as well, and we're going to be working hard to get people in the right direction they need to go to get a roof over their head and get out of being homeless. And for those that think that they're going to make a lifestyle of being homeless and destroy communities, no, that's not going to happen. Not going to happen on my watch. I've been waiting patiently 2.5 years, listening to all kinds of elected people at the city and the county level say, we're going to do this, do that. We're going to build more of this, build more of that. Here's a clue for all these elected officials. We are not going to build our way out of our homeless situation. The homeless situation won't occur that way, because for every one that you shelter, they're replaced by 1.5. It doesn't work. The math is never there. That's why every year the number gets bigger. So let's stop pretending that. Let's start working on stopping people becoming homeless. That's a good investment. And we're going to have the campgrounds. We're going to have safe campgrounds, but campgrounds of our choosing, not their choosing. All right? And we'll have to provide all the wraparound services, the hygiene, trash removal, and all that. We can do that. We can start having these tough conversations where, okay, let's collect all the problems in places where, one, we can provide the services and they're all there. Okay? And we have to regulate public space. The number one mistake of the city and the county is a refusal to regulate public space. It belongs to everyone. It doesn't belong to a homeless person who came from another state and they were homeless in another state. All right? Those public spaces belong to everyone. They have to be defended. And just like across the street on Rivera Street, that's a tourist destination. I want tourists from China, mainland China, who are deciding to come to America. I want them to come to LA. I want them to come to Rivera Street. I want them to go to the Venice Boardwalk, enjoy all the tourist attraction we have. But if we allow them to be destroyed because we're either too stupid, too lame as a politician, too much of a weather vane, looking to the next job, the elected job that you're going to jump to, you're going to figure out which way the wind's blowing so I don't offend the right people or the wrong people, lest I don't get elected on the next election. Well, you know what? You're just bullshitting people. You're not a leader. You're an opportunist sitting in an elected office, just riding your time in office, trying to getting a higher time in office, a higher office. And you're no good to the community. All right? Do your job. Okay? Do your job right, and if you do your job right, well, then people decide if they can give you another job. But if all your decisions are based on how this is going to make me look for the next election, well, you suck. Bottom line, you know who you are. You definitely know who you are, each and every one of you. And I've met you an awful long. I see you coming a mile out, and it's not pretty. The reason why the homeless situation is the way it is today is directly because of you. Yes, there are contributing factors, by all means, that are out of our control, but we do have the capacity to regulate public space, reclaim public space, and don't let LA burn down in the process. Hello? This is an existential threat, treated like such. And the numbers are not shrinking, they're growing. So the budget is a political document. It reflects the values of the county. The Board of Supervisors apparently does not reflect the values of the residents of Los Angeles County. That's an entirely different animal. We have three things that are existential threats to the community. Number one is rising violent crime. And it's concentrated in two districts. District number 1, Supervisor Hilda Solis. District number 2, Holly Mitchell. And you would think that both of them would have some mention about what their residents face every day in terms of just existence, the threat that is to their public safety, these rising violent crime rates. Double digit, almost triple digit with the homicide. Not a word was mentioned in this entire debate about the budget. And then they claim that the budget reflects their values. Well, apparently their values do not include care for victims of violent crime. So this is where we're at right now. And this is where the budget of the county increased $2 billion. Even in the worst economic crisis in modern times due to the pandemic, they still increased their budget. And now there's a flood of money coming in. That the state is flush with money. The federal government's going to kick money down at the local level. And they have increased revenue. They have all these wonderful things. But somehow, it all boils down to let's still defund the sheriff's department. If we didn't defund them and screw them up enough earlier, let's continue to do it some more. So we're losing $143 million. After losing $145 million, the cost of operation did not go down, it went up. This is not going to work the way you have it set up right now. Your budget priorities do not reflect the priorities of the people of Los Angeles County. They reflect the priorities of a very tiny segment of the population that is near and dear to you, that spends all their time sending you chain emails, and they get on the phone lines when you have your Board of Supervisor hearings, and it's always the same voices over and over again, the same people, the same woke crowd, and they definitely don't live in Districts 1 and 2. They don't live on 106 in Budlong. They're not there at Union Pacific and Sunol in East LA. They're not the ones facing the consequences of gang members running them up, shooting up each other in broad daylight. They don't impacted by that. They're safe and secure in their quiet residential communities, well manicured lawns, private security, and they never have to face the social experiment, the outcome of the social experiment that's being foisted on them unwittingly, on all of our residents that could least afford a reduction in law enforcement presence. And that is exactly what the board is trying to do. Are we good? All right, so folks, you're going to see deputy sheriffs in places you normally don't see them, but they're doing the Lord's work. They're going to be doing outreach with the homeless community. We're going to work with the LA Homeless Service Authority.